We're live. Oh, hang on. You're live.
Live.
And now you should be audible.
Ah.
There we go.
I see. That's fine. No one actually wants to listen to me speak anyway, so it's fine. Hi, hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of The Mind of the Martyr, episode 86, Dinner and a Chat, where we will have dinner and a chat, and absolutely nothing is on the line and nothing at all could ever possibly go wrong. Everything's fine. That's it. That's the premise of the episode. Hope everyone's doing well, keeping okay. I'm excited to jump in with all of these wonderful people. But first and foremost, there are a few folks that help keep us going on the air here at Friends Who Roll Dice. So I want to give them a quick shout out real quick before we jump into the episode. First folks you would have seen there are Dice Envy. There is an affiliate link in the chat. Go ahead and hit that up for some fantastic dice. We also have Grinding Coffee, which is a Black LGBT plus owned coffee company. If you're anything like me doing these shows at 2 a.m. every Monday, coffee is kind of your lifeblood. Or maybe you just, maybe you just enjoy it like a regular person and you're not relying on it to get through your day. In which case, you can go ahead and check out Grinding Coffee Go. They are a wonderful company. They do a whole different mix of blends and flavors. Whether you be into something a little bit lighter and a little bit sweeter, or you're into some quite bitter coffees, they have a whole bunch of stuff. And they also have sample packs. So you can pick up a few different flavors and see what you like and what you don't. um, yeah, go ahead and throw in FWRD at Grinding Coffee Co. Get some money off your order, goes towards supporting an independent business, and you'll be helping us out as well. And of course, we are a Roll20 ambassador stream. Roll20 is an online tool set that brings pen and paper RPGs online to many people around the world. You can go ahead and get an account for free, jump straight in with a bunch of your friends and set up a whole bunch of various different tabletop games. Or you can pay for some pro packages and get a whole bunch of additional features to level up your GMing. There's also a fantastic marketplace which has access to maps or images or short adventures or entire TTRPGs that have already been pre-converted into Roll20. So all you have to do is pick it up from the marketplace, download it, and it's there ready to go. Um, they've been wonderful. They've recently been going out with their Roll20 cons. There's been a whole bunch of amazing creators and TTRPGs, both big ones and some of the fantastic independent work that's happening in the scene right now. And it's been great to see them all being showcased. So yeah, go ahead and check them out at roll20.net. This is how we roll. And with that, let's go ahead and jump into the session here. So, Austin, from Naui's perspective, what happened last time on the Mind of the Martyr?
From our perspective, last time followed the, we finally got the cat back home. After trudging into the swamp, we came back to the boats. I don't remember the boats' names. Now we never wrote it down. We did talk to Captain Belladonna, who was frustrated that we were still breathing and there to bug her once again. She was pleasantly surprised that Hiroki was not as frustrating as the rest of us. We found out Captain Belladonna kind of know what's going on, which makes sense because we told the Queen, who probably told other important people to get it together. Excuse me. Captain Belladonna said we could not have her boat pretty definitively, and she was not planning to help us get home, but she did want us gone. So she gave us a scroll of teleportation, which Mara used to teleport us back to our homestead that has a name. I feel like it's
Stonehaven.
Stonehaven. I was like, I feel like it's like Rock Home.
It
Rock,
basically is.
Rock Place. Stonehaven. Once back at Stonehaven, we found out that we had some missives waiting for us from various people of import, including the Queen, someone named Sanctuary, and Kata wants to see Naui, much to her chagrin. Mara, of course, called a family dinner now that we're all home with our new friend Hiroki. Made sure someone got Hiroki set up with a room, and that's sort of it.
Nawi shared with Hiroki
Oh yeah,
everything that has ever happened to us.
yeah. Now we use Mind Link to, at the speed of electrons firing, tell Hiroki everything that's happened.
How was that headache afterwards, Hiroki?
But I'll be fine.
We also tested Stonehaven security and they passed.
What does that mean? What did you do?
We teleported right into the middle of Stonehaven instead of outside of Stonehaven. And the guards wrapped us in a bubble before realizing who we were.
Okay, good. Great.
Yeah, they passed.
I'm glad that it was just a bubble.
It's fine.
Yeah, you may have spooked the guards a little bit.
Little spooks. They're fine. And that's it. As far as I was concerned. It's time to get ready for dinner.
Stonehaven's gonna take in refugees per the Queen's request.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes. So the current situation is kind of tumultuous, and so there was a small request that if Stonehaven could be used, if people ended up being displaced, then that would be appreciated, and that was kind of chatted with the group.
And I brought this up because I figured Dewan would be in charge of a lot of making sure her little cleric clique is prepared. She has understudies.
Indeed. Fantastic. So, before dinner takes place, you have a little bit of time to kind of wander around and show Hiroki to their room, as well as catch up a little bit with the goings on in Stonehaven. There are a few new occupants, a few new individuals and few new faces that you've seen. Some of them, as discussed last time, seem to be novices in training, kind of new guards that seem to have some quite nice equipment. While not officially sent in any capacity by Scythia, you imagine that perhaps your allies in the capital had a hand in sending you a few extra recruits. So there's a few kind of young, chipper individuals mixed in with a lot of these veteran forces. They seem to be acclimatizing relatively well. With a few discussions across the guards, you don't find out anything particularly different. Dawan, as you step into your tower here and begin kind of fiddling around with the cleric section downstairs, you notice that Dover has taken an apprentice of their own. You haven't seen them just yet, but they seem to have there's someone else's belongings that seem to be in kind of like very, very neatly and carefully packed up in a section of the room as to never touch anything else in this room ever again. It is like so neatly and compactly kind of kept. But yeah, there seems to be someone else who has been who's been working with them. Neither of them seem to be here at the moment, though. The tower is completely empty currently. There seems to be another trainee beastmaster who's taking care of some of the a couple of extra mounts that have been picked up just across the last couple of months for use with the guards and a few of the other daily tasks that Stonehaven runs into, trying to keep this place running. Nothing too flashy, but um,
Nothing too flashy, apart from our mounts, of course, right? Right?
well, I mean, yes, your mounts, but nothing too flashy for Veka, I should say.
All
So
right.
there's a couple of horses that have been added, and there is a rather small, lizard-esque mount that is also now in the stables. But yeah, other than yours, nothing is particularly wild, we should say. Yeah, as you're kind of picking up chatter here and there, things seem to be just fine. You can hear a little bit of jitters in the novices' room, the novices' voices, as they're still trying to get used to how things are working here. But things seem to be running well.
Let me clarify the timeline. It's been about a week, right?
It's been, well, plus the travel on the boat. Yeah, it's been probably closer to a couple of weeks at this point since you've
Okay.
been back at Stonehaven specifically.
Okay.
Because you never actually, you kind of popped in after dealing with the situation on the island, but you haven't been here for a particularly extended amount of time in a little bit. So yeah, it's been close up to about 2 weeks.
Say, because I thought the boat took. I thought the boat took a grip.
Yeah, the boat took a while as well. So yeah, but things are proceeding at pace. Hiroki, you have a chance here to to decorate this room with what's kind of whatever's lying around and whatever you can kind of come up with. There's a lot of leftover building materials and paints and storage and things like that. So yeah, as if you've kind of walked into a craft store almost. How would you like to go about that? How do you think Hiroki would approach this relatively blank canvas?
First, I think he goes around and just meets everyone. Like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Hiroki. Just everyone he meets, he'll like get their name and just go around, find everyone he can, and like meet them all, introducing himself very politely, very very chipper. And then when it comes time to actually start like decorating his room, he'll start like finding all the people. Oh, hey, you're really good at painting things. Oh, hey, you're really good at building things. And just like find everyone and like what they like to do and how they can like and see if they would like to contribute to this room. So I think like you might find someone who does like seamstress and mending and like make some fluffy cloud pillows that look kind of like clouds, and they'll be in kind of like light pink, light purple, light blue clouds, because that's kind of his thing for color scheme. Then that way it's like it's you have like these comfortable places for people to like either sit or lay on if anyone wants to visit his room, because he loves having people come by. And then he's also made friends with like the cooking staff, so that he can always have like a pitcher of lemonade and like some cookies or something available if anyone should come by. What else?
I'm
Does he have?
getting like peak 15-year-old sleepover vibes in like the best way.
Yeah.
Just super cozy. There's always like lemonade. There's always some like snacky foods that are close by. Everything's like super fluffy and cozy, and you can just kind of pass out wherever you want.
There may be like some plush, animals. If you can find like, it's not the softest, but you know what, this will work, and so into something that's kind of soft and huggable. Um, maybe like a pastel rainbow on the ceiling.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's going to be a very cozy space by the sound of things, and there's plenty of individuals who are perhaps a little bored with their regular duties. So you've definitely been able to distract some folks as they've helped you out on this little project.
And in fact, I think everyone he has come visit his room after he like starts getting it kind of set up, he'll be like, "Hey, would you like to like draw something on one of the walls? It doesn't need to be very big, but I'd love to have your contribution to my room."
Wait, does Hiroki have one of those chalkboard walls that we all dreamed we had in high school?
No, I think he just is like, "Here, find a spot on the normal
It's a
part of the
doodle
wall
wall.
and like
Yeah,
just decorate it."
love that. Can it also be I like when Hiroki is introducing and saying hi to everyone in Stonehaven, I half expect because it's Stonehaven and Mara has an influence here, they all were like, okay, oh, it's not a hug. You're just saying hello.
I mean, I'll accept hugs if you would like one, but only if you would like one as well.
A few of them are like, yeah, sure. A few of them like there's a couple of them that are like, yeah, sure, and are like leaning in, but they're very clearly slightly under duress as they're looking for the curls of Mara poking around a corner somewhere.
It's in all their contracts that hugs are mandatory.
And
When Mara is home, hugs are mandatory.
yeah, so some of them are enthusiastic, some of them are a bit more reserved, but they will reciprocate. And there's a whole host of various individuals that are here. I'll have to send you the little document of everyone that's here at some point. But yeah, fantastic. That sounds like you're creating a lovely, cozy environment here. I'm super excited about that. Cool. Is there any other business that anyone wanted to handle in Stonehaven specifically? Otherwise, we can kind of just glance through the. Oh, yep. Check her out.
Jack will just I guess one evening or before dinner, I don't know, at some point, will cast Word of Recall in her little sanctuary sleeping space. But that's all, really.
Okay.
Farah has things. So first she's going to cast Comprehend Languages and read what Titan gave her about the orb.
Fantastic. Yeah. This is an orb of it's an orb of true manipulation, is what it's called. So essentially the orb allows you to change the perception of a creature towards certain things. So whether that be change like physically, so acting like almost a disguise, or whether it be closer to a charmed person and changing the perception of someone from an enemy to a friend. And there's it's a very aggressive and volatile magic. So the orb itself only has a few uses. It only has a few charges, so when it reaches 0, it has a chance to detonate. So it's worth keeping in mind.
Which item is this?
This is the
Oh,
orb that you got from the
From the
necromancer.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I have that in my inventory, but do you have it in yours as well? Should
Yeah,
I
because
take it out of mine?
we took it out and had Titan tell us what it was.
Okay. So I'll
And he
take it out.
gave it
Ty
back to
Ty
Mara.
identified the.
Okay.
All
yeah,
right, Ty.
Ty identified. It's not Titan.
She's
it's
big.
Ty.
It's
Yeah.
Titan. It's Titan. Mara's always gonna call him Titan. She's just renaming the whole everyone. But yeah. She doesn't like that. Okay. And then she's gonna take a bath. And while she's in the bath, she's going to tell her friend, "Okay, I am safe." What did he say? When you're safe, when you're home, safe, and something. And she's gonna say those three things and have a conversation.
Mhm.
And she's gonna take off her ring.
Sending out messages, getting nothing in response. It's just static. It's like, I may have made a mistake. Yes, and that is a conversation that we can flesh out a little bit another time. Secrets.
Yep. But when
Right.
they are done, she does invite them to dinner.
And they will politely decline. But
will
perhaps at
pout.
some point. Valid. Hey, I rolled the dice for it. You can't blame me.
Right. And then she will go to dinner.
All right. Any other business that anyone would like to attend to?
Before dinner time?
Yeah. Cool.
No, I'm just hanging out.
Sweet.
Because
Yeah.
now we already sent for a Phoenix Wrangler for us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, now we asked for a Phoenix Wrangler. I probably should have been
Should have been in the recap, maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
It's cool.
Because
Now he forgets half the stuff she does, so
we have 3 Phoenix eggs? 2?
that sounds right.
Two.
A number.
2?
More than 0.
We
More than
more
0.
than 1.
It is
I believe
eggs, plural.
I believe you have 2.
We have
I
2.
believe we have 2.
We do have two.
There is a
Frost
white blue,
and
yeah, a
yeah.
white blue and a purple one.
Right.
Frost and like lightning.
And
Lightning,
one of
yeah.
them, both of them starting to crack?
Both
One
of
yeah,
them are starting to
both.
crack. Yes.
Both, yes.
Wonderful. So, meeting in the main hall. The main hall's been done up a little bit over the last couple of weeks. A lot of the kind of open space has been it's been made a bit more homely. There's some more kind of like tapestries on the walls. There's a few more kind of candles and things spread around. There's some what is very clearly a section at the very, very back across the mantle of the fireplace. The mantle's actually been extended and risen up and bolted into the wall, creating this this big set of shelves almost on either side of the top of the fireplace. And in each little nook, you see one item that has been placed. It's just a few random, like from just looking at it, a few random items. And on the right hand side you can see a myriad of empty slots, and that's been placed there. There's some kind of like engravings across the wood and some kind of like decorative fabric pieces, and it's just been made homely. When you come down, the food is already spread out across this very, very, very large table at this point. You're beginning to see that people have kind of gravitated towards their own spots. You can see that some of the chairs are starting to be personalized a little bit. There's little markings, little etchings, little decorations across the chairs for each individual person. And they all seem to have kind of made a little family here of sorts. It's starting to build slowly but surely. And there is a veritable feast in front of you. They've very clearly gone all out. There's meats, there's vegetables, there's casseroles, there's soups, there's all sorts, just all scattered across the table. And the group will wait until everyone is here and everyone is seated. And then we'll go ahead and dig in. And I needed to cough.
Yes.
And suddenly there was a frogs in my throat. But yes, the dinner time continues to go by with the usual revelry. And spider web, interesting. Yeah, the usual revelry and talkativeness and things like that. You have a few individuals that are kind of they're approaching you directly, like trying to learn about what you've been doing the last few weeks, and catching up on what you've done before that, because you hadn't really spent a whole lot in Stonehaven before heading off to the island and coming back. So they're just kind of trying to catch up with you, and some of them are a bit more businessy about it, trying to figure out specific details about threats, whereas others are just like, so tell me everything. But
So
yeah.
many stories. So many stories. Mara
All
tells
in
so
all.
many stories about the ghosts on the sea, in the ocean, about the boat that was calling to us. Just
Mhm.
so many stories.
I feel like Jack tells the story about frogs, but doesn't specify that frogs is a cat. So it's just an odd story that people don't really understand.
It's just kind of a mixture of, some of them are just like, I'm not going to touch it. It's fine. We're just going to nod. Some of them are a little bit more kind of confused. It's also like, oh, it's Jacaranda. We're used to this right now.
They just nod and accept.
Yeah, but all in all, unless there's any specific conversations that you wish to have with individuals, goes
Yes,
without a hitch.
conversations. So what are we gonna do with the animals?
Wait, are we having that conversation with ourselves or with other people?
We can. Mara's just bringing it up at dinner because
Ah,
if we're leaving them here,
The-
they got to know about the animals. So
The horses?
I think.
the animals in the greenhouse
Oh,
that are in stasis.
Oh.
A lot of animals.
The lot of animals.
Oh.
A lot of animals.
Because
Dude,
the queen's
can-
not going to have time to deal with them right now.
Can we
Wow.
wake them up?
So
I don't think we learned how.
Why don't we just leave them there?
Or
Aren't they safe
Jacaranda
for
was
that?
going to find out from Ty, maybe.
They didn't know.
Didn't
They
know.
weren't. They didn't know how. They weren't sure.
Kata may know, but I
Ty-
don't think we should be lugging them around because we don't know what kind of dangerous situations we're going to get into.
But
So I
aren't they
think they'd be
safe in the
safer
greenhouse?
here? I
Oh,
mean,
I don't
you
like that
never know.
shrug.
They should be
'Cause-
fine. If they wake up, the ones that are in prey will not be fine from the ones that are predators.
Suddenly, there's a terrible game of Zoo Tycoon in Jack.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like, and then you just have, instead of a greenhouse, you have a real ecosystem.
Yes.
We like open it up. It's like fucking Jumanji in there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking if the greenhouse gets put inside something else that maybe it shouldn't and explodes, I don't want them lost.
Perhaps
So
we could
perhaps
talk
we should-
to Carta and see if there is a second pocket dimension that
Well,
he
Yeah.
could keep the animals in, or perhaps the queen. She's a queen. Don't some kingdoms have private zoos off to the
She's
side?
kind of busy. I
Well,
mean, we could
Kata-
ask
well-
I mean,
we could ask the guardian, maybe.
yes.
Kata wants to
alright.
talk to me already, so
I can let you take one of these, like one of the smaller animals with you if you would like. And then
I mean, I think we should all go see Kata, mostly because I don't want Naui to punch him again.
what are we gonna do if Nali wants to punch Kata?
Jump in the way.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not taking a bullet for Kana. First of all, I won't be doing that.
I mean, I feel like Dawn would just clasp Naomi's hand and say, "Please don't punch Carta this time.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Problem solved."
Let me just flex my girlfriend privilege real quick.
Listen, after everything we've been through, now he owes me at least this.
I mean, unless we had a way to get them to the verdant veil, but as far as I know, there's not at least none of us have a good way to actually just like appear in the veil.
If the verdant veil was the place these animals would need to go to, the verdant veil would appear for the animals to go to. Right?
Yes, that's how it works.
Right. So I'm guessing the verdant veil doesn't want them since they're still in the greenhouse, right?
They haven't gone
Yeah,
anywhere.
they're still there.
Well, it isn't the Red Veil doesn't want them, it's just not the place for them to be.
Right. But our days ahead are uncertain. And like I said, I don't know that we should travel with them. Somebody wanted them.
The smugglers.
So we should find, well, the smugglers were getting them for someone in particular. We should find a place where they're safe.
Wasn't it revealed that the smugglers were like using the animals for experiments and shit? Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That was the thing that was revealed.
Yes.
All right. That was not Dawn
the-
saying it. That was Jesse asking.
The creatures, at least one of with some very good investigation rolls, at least one of the manifests they weren't marked as animals on the manifest, but they were being sent to one of the hubs of the Magic Army.
Wait, I want to try something. Jacaranda or Nawi, can you give me one of the non-predator small creatures?
Is there a chinchilla?
I mean, yeah, sure. A little bit. Chinchilla? Okay.
Yeah, there's
Pull a chinchilla out.
there's a few smaller creatures in there, most certainly.
Mara pulls out some Rejuvi smoothie and tries to give it to the creature to see if it wakes it up. I mean, I figure if it woke up Harmony, maybe it'll wake these things up.
Okay. You pull out this little red twin-tailed chinchilla that is frozen in place. You go ahead and drop some of the essence here onto the creature. You wait a moment. The rest of the dinner table is looking at you real fucking weird.
It would be the first time. They're always looking at Mara like, what is she doing?
And then nothing happens.
Okay, so this is Mara says this over the group chat. Okay, so since the Rejuvi smoothie doesn't revive them, that's good. So we should ask Harmony if she can keep them there until we figure out a way to bring them out of stasis, because the Rejuvi smoothie that's there is not going to wake them up. What does everyone think?
Oh, okay. I didn't have an idea.
Sure. We can ask.
Mara sends. Oh, Harmony.
Harmony's gonna be so sick of our shit.
Just of Mara shit. And hopefully she gets an answer this time. We have all these animals. Some are very rare species. That are under some sort of stasis that we don't know how to break, but we want to make sure that they're protected while we go off and save the world. Can we leave them with you?
I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Sure. Hold on. I can do that. Two.
Okay. You you send the message. The magic goes off. You feel your message being carried, but it never hits a recipient.
Oof.
Kind of just not even bounces back. It just kind of keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and then just fizzles out. Which you've already encountered once before. You know that this kind of magic doesn't always work when an individual's on a different plane of existence.
Okay, so Harmony's busy, so that I guess we can't do that. Besides that, the forest guardian, maybe?
Okay, wait.
Or we can leave them here, but if they wake
Mara,
up, it's my only concern.
Harmony's cave was part of a temple that was within that was part of a temple that was deeper inside of another cave, right? Let's just leave them in the first cave. That's not encroaching in Harmony's space, and the first cave is still hidden from others. And it was large enough for there to be puzzles. Towers? There was a tower. Oh my god, that was so long ago.
There was also a closed ecosystem.
Yes. We have
Correct.
flowers from there.
I think we should put a pin in this until after Nawi talks to Kata and sees if they have a solution to the animal problem.
Issue? Sure.
And then if we can let them, if we can unfreeze them, I can find out where they're from and then just release them there.
Maybe we could leave them in the library.
I think it'd be best to not leave them anywhere where the Magicarnum could find them.
Oh, yeah, because they can get in the library, can't they? They
As
can
of
only
right
get in
now,
the library
nobody
if the
really knows.
librarian lets them in there, right?
I think under duress, that could be easily attainable.
Wait,
Okay, so we'll put a pin in it.
we'll see what Kyle
As
has
of
to
right
say.
now, nobody really knows that they're in here,
Mhm.
right?
No one knows except for us.
And Ty, who's not going to tell anyone, that, as far as I know.
And I'll hand
I mean,
the
I trust Ty.
chinchilla to Nawi, the frozen chinchilla.
Hiroki, how is setting up your room?
Oh, it's going great. There's so many people. Everyone here is so nice and helpful.
Oh, that is good. I am glad. Did you pick a tower near anybody, or?
I'm supposed to name my room?
Oh no, did you pick a tower near anybody else?
Maybe. I don't actually know the layout very well. I spent too much time meeting people.
That is
And no one was in their room, so I didn't know where everyone else's
I
rooms
only know
actually
how
were.
to get to Juwan's room if I am serious. I just found a spot outside and sat down.
You are in what could be considered my front yard, yes, aren't you?
It
There's,
just made the most
vines up,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
It just made the most sense. Then I couldn't get lost.
Yeah, you should come visit my room. It's got lots of nice soft pillows, and there's always snacks.
Oh, I made a pillow once.
True.
The
I like
only
pillows.
pillow that she will make.
It's the only pillow I will ever make.
Don't worry, I won't ask you to make a pillow.
That's okay.
But if you want to put some art on the walls, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, I'm very bad at art.
I will.
I'll come over for snacks.
And before everyone heads off, Mara's like, okay, it's time for the group hug. Everyone get in here.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Right?
Not this.
Oh, yes.
I
We
like
have a cuddle
hugs.
puddle
Oh.
right
there's
there.
a groan from the majority of the room. There's three new novice soldiers that are super freaking confused right now as they're just looking towards anyone else for help. And you hear a deep, hearty chuckle as Bo at the back is looking towards these newbies, just laughing his ass off the entire time. But indeed, there is a slow congregation into this center. This cracks me up every time. I can't help it. Just
Every time.
picturing this in my head is funny.
It's in their contracts. It's in our contracts. It's fucking carved. It's carved like above the door of the mess hall.
Oh God. Welcome to the mess hall. Hugs are mandatory.
Hugs are mandatory.
They will quickly disperse after that and head back to their work.
Amara says we should head into town like pretty early. I have a feeling it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long everything.
Are we very far from the Queen's
No.
place? Not very far?
No. No. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I would tell but since I have to go see Kara, I think I will head there and meet you at the palace after.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Do you want company when you meet Carta?
The right answer is yes.
Is there a wrong answer?
No.
Okay. Are you going to head to bed early if you're going to Carta first?
No, I was going to stop by if you were going to be up.
I was going to stop by let's go to your
Mara has walked off at this point. Their teenage angst love just makes her angsty. She's just
fucking widowed, middle-aged widow.
Jesus.
No, I was
my tent.
Yes, it's a tent, right? This is just okay. It's just got fairy lights. It's just cute. It's like a fancy tent.
Yeah, it's a fancy tent from her fey mom.
Fancy tent from her fey mom that is much larger on the inside than it looks like on the outside.
Yeah, it's like if you've been to it's like the Bake Off tent.
Yes.
A gazebo at that point.
I was gonna say, I suppose the Bake Off tent does look larger on the inside than it does on the outside. Yeah, you're right.
I meant like on the inside, it has like it's like spacious.
It's spacious. It's not
that big. It's not big enough for 30 British people to bake in it necessarily.
It doesn't have 30
in...
individual refrigerators in there.
No.
Okay.
But I meant like that, like those like party tents where you go, like it's a tent, but it's also like a structure, like taking it down's a whole thing.
I'm with you.
It's a permanent tent.
Yeah.
Mara's just gonna head outside and play with Shikari and Lupa because she hasn't in a while, and she has. After the conversation she just had, she has some energy to get out.
Some thinking to do.
Yeah. Or not.
I mean, yeah. Dawn and Naui are going to go to Naui's tent and talk.
Tent.
We're going to go to Naui's tent. Dawn may not necessarily come out of it that night.
It's sleepover.
It's a discussion that will happen at some other time. Ooh.
I love these one-on-one shots because it means I can just go and stuff happen.
Yeah.
Find out later. I'm enjoying this.
He's gonna get lost. Like he actually literally wants to get lost so he can find his way back to his room.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, there's plenty of doors and things to explore. It's one of those places, Hiroki, that if you were to look at it from like a bird's eye view, it's not actually that big. It's just a small little fort that's kind of been redone up. Um, but there's so many like little openings here and there and things that have been set up and people have very clearly like restored and repurposed rooms that it's actually quite easy to get a little lost when you're in the bowels of the place. But yeah, you do eventually make it back to your room. Um, yeah. Is there, unless there's any other business that people would like to cover specifically tonight, we can kind of just skip past the night and the morning and begin your travel to Scythia. Excellent.
Now he's gonna head to Kata's. Vaughn is welcome to come with.
Before we do that, though, real quick, Jacaranda, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
What?
What?
Hey, excuse me.
2
Uh,
plus
excuse
wisdom 11.
Okay. Cool. So night comes, as expected, and everyone finds a more comfortable rest as you are now in a little more of a homely place. Jacaranda, as your rest takes you and you are subconsciously communing as you usually do with the energies and the spirits around you, you begin to kind of relive the experiences of the last couple of days and the changes in your mindset and the changes in what you've discussed and your experiences with Ty and the answers that you've received. And you feel some other voices begin to creep in just a little bit. First of all, just echoing names and things that you've already experienced, these small kind of snippets. And then as those voices fade, you feel the air around you turn cold. As you take a look at the area around you, you see the same area you were standing in, but it looks like winter has appeared all of a sudden. There's ice, seems to be tearing across the landscape in front of you. A lot of the trees begin to very suddenly bow, break, wither, and die around you. You feel a horrendous discomfort on your forehead all of a sudden. A slight bit of pain. You see a single drip of your sap-like essence kind of fall past your eye. As you do so, you kind of instinctively reach up to touch what is now a thorned crown that sits upon your head. You feel a rumbling within you suddenly, almost as if something's gripping your essence. You see that same image, that same regalia etched into a tree in front of you. You see the ice beginning to build around it. The cold suddenly becomes suffocating. You feel your entire essence kind of being squished and compressed by the cold and the ice. And suddenly it all just shatters. You find yourself back in place, as if nothing had ever happened.
Okay.
The rest of your night goes uneventfully. The morning comes, again, uneventful. Stonehaven begins to become a bustle of work once again as people go about their daily duties. And you can most certainly begin to get ready for your day Jacaranda, as the daytime now comes, the tree ahead of you is unmarked. There's nothing on your head. There's no sign of any injuries across you. It is still very much summertime, and nothing seems out of the ordinary.
I'm not haunted. So I think as we gather near the front, Naomi's gonna Duan, if you wanted to come with me to Kata, I was wondering if you wanted to also ride on Lupa. I know you have a mount, but it could head with everyone else. Lupa probably Lupa licks your face. What are you talking about? just if you ever wanted to. Yeah, yes. It's economical. Yeah. So
Right.
we will head to Kata and you will head to the Queen and we will meet you there.
Yeah, I'll bring Matthew. That's what you named your moose. Was Matthew?
That's what you named your moose.
Yes.
You named your moose a normal man name.
Yeah, it was Matthew the Kaimus. Yes.
I wrote it down.
Never gonna forget that. You gave your moose a normal, just a dude name, like some guy.
Yeah, I'll ride Matthew in, and Shikari can just come by himself. So
Fantastic. Okay. It's a nice, pleasant day. Doesn't take you too long. The roads are relatively easily traversed and cleared. You're only about an hour out of the main capital anyway. You can kind of, if it wasn't so overgrown where you are, you'd be able to see it from Stonehaven. But yeah, you travel about an hour and arrive at the castle gates, and the entire city is abuzz. There's a lot of heavily armored individuals patrolling the grounds, heading towards shops, chatting with individuals. The entire capital city is just full of these heavily armed individuals. Very similar to the Queen's Guard that you've already seen, just a little more kind of up to date in its designs across the armor and the weapons. They seem to be, chatting with the working folk, chatting with themselves, looking across very big portions of the city, and there are small checkpoints here and there. These checkpoints are manned by 2 or 3 of the armed individuals, and there is a glowing kind of like crystal plinth that has been placed there with a robed mage that is kind of holding up this crystal. There's a small kind of beam of purple light that hits into the crystal and creates like this small kind of purple dome. And those checkpoints are throughout the city here. As you step in this kind of like immediate main courtyard, someone stops you, kind of flags you down, and just steps up and just, apologies, if I may have your permission incredibly quickly, we need you to just very swiftly step into one of these checkpoints. It's just a matter of city safety. We already know who you are and what you do. All of you, yes. We already know how much you've done for us, but this would help the city itself feel a lot safer. If that's all the same.
What is it? What is it doing?
It's a, for lack of a better term, it is a trace checker of sorts. It's a way to see whether any of the magical signatures you are connected to is connected to any plane that we might not be expecting. We have already accounted for some of the more unique areas that some of you may have been from, and some of the wonderful places that we already have a rapport with, but individuals are worried, and so we've set up these checkpoints in order to keep people confident, keep people safe, and stop the paranoia that can sometimes spread when news gets out of individuals posing as other individuals.
Can I get one of these sent to Stonehaven, especially since we're supposed to be taking refugees?
I do not have the authority to do that, but I can discuss.
I'll just ask Sinclair. Yeah. Okay. Mara steps into the checkpoint or whatever, but she's like, dude, because she was just thinking, man, we have new people. I'm going to have perhaps, or Logan, come check them out because I don't know these new people, right?
You step into the dome and it is kind of just a small tingle across your body, like a shiver, as you step through. And not even like 5 seconds pass before the mage kind of nods at you and just, you're good. You can move on. Sorry for the trouble.
I move on.
One by one, everyone scans through, and there's a few checks on a couple of you as they kind of look you over a little bit and then kind of pause for a moment and then, okay, no, we recognize that. It's fine. Move on. And yeah, you are through the checkpoint here. There's a few individuals that are still kind of coming in and out of Scythia as well, and you see that all of these individuals are also put through this little checking area. But the officer kind of nods again and just, yes, sorry. We like to be as transparent as possible, and the more you keep secret about goings on in the realm, the more that people talk, and the more that people begin to jump to their own conclusions. We just like to be as open and transparent as possible and avoid any kind of situations going on. Did you need to have an audience? Is that why you're here?
Yes, we're commanded here.
Yep.
Asked to be here.
We were requested. We're expected.
Yes, we're expected.
Right then, I'll go ahead and make sure that the message is passed on about your arrival, and well, good tidings to you. He very quickly kind of gives a short bow and goes back towards this little checkpoint area.
Dawan and I are off to see Dawan and I, me and myself.
Goodbye, Jesse and Dawa.
Jesse's my new pet.
With Matthew.
Matthew
That's
and
flex.
Jesse.
Summon a familiar and call it your name. That's a flex.
Summon a familiar.
I would like to give everyone I
just
play with
me.
a massive headache.
Yes.
Yeah, we're off to Kata, so we're
Yeah.
not with them.
No, so I was gonna say Naui and I are just going to do a little wave as we trot off. This is Dawan speaking. If we're late, we've stopped to get tea because it's also going to be a date.
Yes. Now he sweats. He remembers things cost money.
And Mara would say through the ring, okay, I don't know why you yelled that to the whole world, but have fun. And Mara would say, Hiroki, this is Scythia. And she would point out things that she's seen and done because she hasn't got to explore the city a whole lot because we've been busy. But
Jack says through the ring, I think we should do a date too while we're here. Just like to Hiroki and Mara.
That sounds like fun. Oh
we
wait,
can
who
definitely
has
have
to
a
tell me?
date. But we should have to talk to the queen first. But then we can date. We can have a date in the garden. Oh, and we can
Yeah.
talk to the gardener while we're here and play with the cat. I'm just saying.
Sounds
Do you have to have tea for a date, or can you just say
No.
it's a date?
I don't
You
think
can just
tea
say
is
it's a
required for
date.
dates.
Okay.
Especially since you don't drink tea.
Yeah, because I think having a date would be nice, but
Wait,
If
are you
there's
talking
tea
about date
involved.
like the fruit? You're not talking about the fruit, right? You're talking about like date like the appointment, like where you spend time together with other folks.
well, what they're doing, they're having
Yes.
a date.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure
Are
because
there
sometimes
dates involved in dates too? Is
No,
that
but
why
there
it's
can
called a
be.
date?
There can be.
there can be.
Fruit can be a part of a date.
Okay. Well, I think we should do that. Whatever I want to do what they are doing too. I think we should get to as well.
And Mara sends just Denali and Dewan. We are not doing what you're doing.
Now, is Jack trying to ask everyone out? Or is
She just knows you guys are going to go do something fun and then feels left out. So she said that we are going to do that too. But
Less Jack.
with
rather.
us.
Less them.
So that
Oh.
so that
we'll
they
have our own
feel
date
left out.
with Jack.
Yeah,
Screw
fine. We're
you
going to have
having
a date too.
We'll have a date too. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna have one.
We're going to do it as well. It's not fair. You get to.
Wonderful. So, Hiroki, you've been in villages, you've been in towns, you may have even been in some small cities, but I don't think you've ever been in a true capital city. And this place is immense, to say the least. Especially while all of this just buzzing of individuals is going on. There are this beautiful, first of all, as you step through the gate, there's this beautiful courtyard that is kind of surrounded both by buildings and by these huge almost marble-like stone walls that encompass the entire of the outside of Scythia. There's two main pathways that divide. One of them is like a huge strip which leads straight to this beautiful, huge, multi-tiered, white and grey stone castle. Huge set of stairs, like the whole kind of like traditional aspect, so to speak. And then the other pathway leads into the city proper. And there are so many people here. And despite the busyness and despite the checkpoints and the military presence, there's so much warmth and joy in this city. There's so many people happily chatting and playing and meeting with friends and seeing individuals pass just in the street, and there's like hi hellos and very warm greetings and responses, and scattered around the houses and the other buildings there's there's tea places, there's restaurants, there's all of these just wonderful amalgamations of civilization, and it fills you with a warmth. Even though this place is immense, it's huge, it's gorgeous, it's still weirdly a bit homely to you. It's still a bit warm, still a bit friendly. It's just giving you good vibes. You, as that one party travels along the long approach to the palace here, our other party, Dewan and Nawi, you continue along the main road and go a little bit more into the shopping and residential districts of Scythia. And indeed, they are also abuzz, a lot of trading, a lot of individuals checking with guards on certain things, and more patrols. But you do eventually, without a hitch, reach Carda's store, that has had to expand a little bit, just due to the kind of like the buzz of things going on. There have been some hastily constructed, and I do really mean hastily constructed, little booths that have been put outside. There's a couple of individuals working them and chatting with people and giving items over and taking items and ledgering and sorting things out. One of them kind of catches you and kind of recognizes both of you for a moment, kind of nods and just gives a thumb inside, before going back to there's quite a few lines of individuals here, both military and personal, handling things while the doors to the store itself are open. And you can see a hell of a stock rotation inside has happened. Pretty much everything that you can see through the window, you haven't really seen in the store before.
I walk in. Kata! Hello? You said I had to see you. Where are you? Come on.
You hear a dunk against the wood, just God, and like from up above one of the desks, just darling, I wasn't expecting you to be here.
I'm not
quite
your
so
darling.
soon.
Don't
but
call me darling.
Do not call her
Fair.
darling.
fair, valid.
She's
Okay.
already promised not to punch you. Don't make me take back the promise.
Boundary heard and boundary respected. What can I do for you? Oh, yes, no. What can I do for you? Yes, that's correct. And immediately ducks back under the desk and just where did I put it? Where did there's the no and scrapes a big tome that is kind of on the top of the table, just pulls the covers across, and you can see that this tome is essentially like, it's a scrapbook. That's the only way I can really kind of describe it. It has loads of letters and pamphlets and pictures. And
No,
all
I need you to
sorts.
come over. I found a picture of your mom on my scrapbook.
They turn relatively like towards the end here. I'm just, where did I? Yes, I.
Better be glad Mara's not there. There'd be so many old man comments.
Pulls this small, delicate, very beautiful golden missive that hasn't been opened. It still has the seal in the front. And it's like, oh, yes. First of all, that's for you. And second of all, I will be right back. And hands that over to you and immediately breaks away and opens the door into the back and steps through. Their little like draconic tail kind of gives you a bit of a wave as they step inside.
Was it like a buy or should
I think we're supposed to follow him. Does he seem a lot more than before?
I don't know. I'll be real. I really tune out when Kata starts talking. You told me not to punch, so I'm doing my best.
I respect you for that. I think
Thank you.
I think we're supposed to follow him.
Okay.
Otherwise, what's the point of us being here? And I'm gonna say that out loud as like we like go into the back. Like why?
I'll
Why are
follow,
we
yeah.
here?
No, wait, what's okay, fine. And as you step through the door, it is a stark contrast in comparison to the front of the store. Front of the store, super neat, super organized. Everything's very nicely labeled. Everything's very nicely laid out. Back room, pigsty. There is stuff all over the place. There's this big desk that is very clearly an enchanting table that is just covered in items, runes, and ingredients, some of which you would recognize to one, some of which are just kind of, you have no idea as you're looking at it. And there, they've opened up this big chest that's on the floor. They've moved some items to the side and just, I put it in here for safekeeping. I don't quite remember where they.
You asked me to come here and you didn't have the things ready. Why didn't you have the... You asked me to be here. You could have asked me to be here when it was ready.
Well, in my defense, this got sent to me about 4 or 5 days ago, and I've been...
Why did you put it away?
busy.
Why didn't you just have it? You could have put it...
Because I'm hot, I'm not smart, and kind of continues to rifle
You
through
think
the chest.
that one's just gonna mutter under her breath? You think you're hot?
And pulls out this small I guess what kind of look like a handkerchief to you at the start, and kind of pulls it out, and it's got a small little bundle underneath, and pulls that away, and there's this small, very tightly wound up scroll, and they take it and hand it over to you. Just she said read, yes, you have to read the letter first and then you'll understand what the scroll is. I didn't look at either.
Who is she?
I have no idea. I've never met her before. She didn't give me a name. She was very, very brisk, very to the point, and I thought she would murder me in a second, which reminded me of something.
I like her.
So,
I put the scroll in and take the letter out.
the letter itself is a gold-tinted envelope with kind of like cracks of green, like drawn green vines around it.
This is such a pretty envelope that now he rips open like a feral child.
And the bright scale seal is in the center.
Is it from your mother?
Probably.
It opens up. It opens up, and you recognize the incredibly beautiful writing. Just, dearest Navi, your father has been busy working on what you had asked them to work on. They didn't give me a whole lot of details, but after some careful coaxing, I managed to figure out exactly what was going on here. In brackets, there's like the fantasy version of like a wink emoji, basically.
Not this.
Just, I'm certainly a little worried, but as we said when you were here, you are an adult growing into your own, and I will respect your choices. That being said, if some kind of horrible abomination begins to mess with my daughter, I will destroy them. I just underlined that part. Regardless, your father had passed on a few of their research notes about certain goings on in the Magic Harnum that you had requested. They're not writing back themselves because they're currently looking into something else, and they're actually out of the veil at the moment. Not entirely sure where they went, but I trust them more than enough. They were probably trying to get away from me for a little while, if we're being honest. regardless, like you almost hear the clearing of the throat in the language. Regardless, I've enclosed one of the documents that your father had found. They had spent a considerable amount of time making sure that this got to you. I'm not magically inclined, but so I don't exactly know how to use it, but they said perhaps one of your friends might be able to. Let us know that this gets here safe if possible. Miss you.
Thumbs up emoji.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Love you.
Signed with a very pretty cursive.
Okay, now we'll put it away. Well, the scroll is something for probably you or Mara to look at. Something about being magic. I can use magic, but I am not as smart, so we will look at it later. Kata, come here.
They're closing the box, and as they do so, they hear this, and they just
As now is reaching back into her bra.
slick back their hair a moment, and
I have something for you.
All right. Winces a little, waiting for the slap that never comes.
We found a bunch of animals like this that were frozen. Do you know how to wake them up?
May I? Takes the small little chinchilla in hand and just oh, this poor thing. Magic certainly looks a little familiar. I might have a friend that would be able to possibly fix this. This is a little beyond even my capabilities, but I know someone who used to use magic like this quite a bit.
Your friend wouldn't happen to be... I don't have my notebook. I don't know why I started this question. It's way the fuck over there. Your friend wouldn't happen to be... Insert the name of the guy who put the thing on the chinchilla.
Ravathoon.
Ravathoon.
A Ravathoon.
A Ravathoon.
Absolutely not. I don't know a lot about that word.
Kasim.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
No, not I wouldn't have said Kasim, because Kasim is working for Ravathoon. Also, Kasim's dead.
Yeah, but if they knew Kasim and how then they'd be like, well, Kasim's dead, so you can't ask them.
That is not a name that I have heard in many, many moons, and it's not really a name I would like to hear again, because the last time I heard it, it was...
Oh, I have bad news. I don't think you've heard the news.
You're gonna probably hear the name a lot. And whatever bad things you associate with the name will happen again.
You should probably go to therapy to get ready to hear the name again.
I'm going to go back to my store now, unless there's anything you need. But did you say there was more of these?
Yes.
Yes.
Like a whole menagerie. We found out that they might have been used as ingredients for the Magicarnum.
That's fucked up. How many are we talking on a scale
Enough.
Of like...
Enough to fill a zoo. Enough that we considered a zoo to store them all.
I thought I got out of the pet shop business. All right, yes, I can store these creatures. I can go ahead and contact a friend and look into exactly what's going on here. I can most certainly at least attempt to get them free. Yes, feel free to bring the rest of the creatures here, and I will look after them to the best of my ability.
Where exactly do you want us to... Because I'm like, Donald's looking around this very cluttered storeroom.
I have my ways. Don't worry. Just bring them to the store.
Okay. I'm going to send down the group chat. Kata can take care of the animals. He has a friend who might be able to help us free the animals. He said to bring them by the shop.
Yes.
Is there
After
a
our
tree?
date.
Is there a tree by Kata's shop?
Yeah, there's trees scattered all across the city here.
You just yeet it through a tree.
And yeah, is there a tree in the where we are, like right now in the
There's
near
trees
near
in the
the
courtyard
castle?
to the palace.
So
And like on the ways up.
when Jack hears that, she will cast transport via plants.
Kadoosh.
And arrive at Kata's store and hand Kata the plant.
just as the
I
rest
mean,
of the group
hand
is
Kata,
traveling.
like start giving.
I
Kata,
imagine we're in the middle of talking to the queen, and Jacaranda
Jagan just
leaves.
walks
Walks
away
out.
through a tree.
Mara's just like, she's got a thing.
Peace, I'm out.
I'm doing it.
Okay, so flicking over for a moment then. You've probably gotten up to because Carter's place is a lot closer to the castle than the castle is to the front gates. So, you've probably gotten to the courtyard at this point, and you're chatting away with, like making sure that people know that you're expected, and one of the higher ranking guards comes down and just, oh yes, you were mentioned that we would be having company. Was it Her Majesty? You weren't. She's a little currently engaged, but that's fine. I can take you there. That is fine. I will need to ask if actually leans in. Just could you go and ask Sinclair about the weapon situation and whether they. Thank you.
Why don't you just ask Sinclair to come here? I have to talk to him too. As Mara is purposely listening, why don't you tell Sinclair to come here?
Well, you heard the lady. Off you go. God kind of looks a little weirdly and salutes, wanders off, and just as he's about to kind of turn back to continue the conversation, that's when you get the message from Talana Nali. The guard watches the Jacaranda just steps through the tree and just does she always do that? That's
No, that's new.
I think that's the first time I've seen it.
Right? I've never seen Jacaranda walk through a tree, right?
No, I've never done it before.
That's new.
It's brand new.
right. Okay, I will not ask more questions. Come with me. They begin walking up the steps there. Jack, as you appear through the tree and Carter kind of spots you in the distance, just, hello. You again? Wonderful. Good to see that you are in good health. Apparently you have some animals for me.
I do. Should I here, why don't I can let you into this and then you can bring the animals out. I have I'm actually supposed to be somewhere else, so I'll be back for this. And then I open it and then like
I will bring it back, Jack.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So then I let Kata go in and out to get the animals. And then I just turn around and walk out of Kata's store and head back to the Queen's castle.
You
have some things to say?
You and your friends are always full of interesting situations. Takes a few steps back into the very cluttered storeroom here and pulls a clawed hand up and begins muttering an incantation under their breath. And this green-purple little shimmer kind of appears in the air in front and manifests into a small kind of like circular door with a little like translucent doorknob on the side. Just, there we are. Right then, wonderful. In the picks up the suitcase and opens it up a little. Just oh, oh, oh. We'll slowly begin ferrying the creatures from the greenhouse here, and opens up this little magical portal and steps in, begins just ferrying them across. Takes a while, but as that is happening, switching back over here to the group, the castle itself is also abuzz at this point. Lots of individuals seem to be more of the building and construction persuasion. Seem to be checking the walls, checking a lot of the decorations, a lot of the sections of the castle itself, as well as an uptick in guards and officials that seem to be going around doing their business. You step up to this small little courtyard tunnel almost. It kind of opens out into a small flowered area that comes forward a little bit and then kind of reaches a corner that you have to continue down. There's pillars along both sides, these small kind of decorative pillars that are covered with trellises of various different kinds of plant. And as this opens out, you see ahead of you seems to be a small training range. You see a few targets off to the side with arrows kind of already indented into them. You see a few kind of like hanging targets and sacks of grain and small collections of wood that have very clearly kind of been slashed into or pierced or smacked with some kind of object. And you see at the far, far back this very large, well-built, durable target that is currently being wailed on with a beautiful sequence of flashes and flurries from Queen Eleven. She has her head down at this point, which is the first time you've probably seen it all the way down. There's nothing, no ties or anything. It's just kind of flowing loosely. Trails to about kind of like the mid to low back. She's wearing this very loose, just fabric setup, to be honest. That's kind of just a sleeveless t-shirt, essentially. And this kind of like flowing skirt piece with some slightly kind of leathery tights. They're not quite like full leather, but they're a little more durable. Doesn't particularly look comfortable, but creates a lot of movement. You see her just repeatedly slashing this, and every time she strikes it with the what looks to be just a regular iron blade in her hand, the target itself just kind of rocks and shakes under the weight of the blows. And hearing the footsteps, she twirls around and levels the blade forwards. And immediately upon seeing you, Mara, a little confused look heading towards Hiroki, but seeing you, Mara, she calms down a moment and whips the blade.
Well, as she turns around, Mara would go, I didn't do it, it wasn't me.
Having known you.
Well, I maybe did do it, but it still wasn't me.
That's what I was about to say. After knowing you for long enough, you probably did do it, whatever it tends to be. It's good to see you again. And your friend?
This is Hiroki. They are here to help.
Hiroki. I'm Ella.
Oh.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is mine as well.
And this is Iris. They need access to the library.
Iris just T-posing.
They are looking for a very important book that may help.
I see. That can certainly be arranged. We certainly owe you a few more favors after the help you've given us. Things have been a little busy, but I'm sure there will be enough organization in the library to hopefully have a fruitful search for your friend. Where are the rest of you?
They
There's a
went to
few-
visit. No, we went to visit Kata with the
Right.
wand. She already
Wonderful.
knows that Warren and Harridan are gone. So
Mhm.
yeah. Nawi said they will not punch Kata.
Wonderful. I was about to ask, as appreciative as I am of Navi and the assistance of both Navi and the Verdant Veil, please don't kill my best magician. That would be... He's useful, and that would be problematic.
Right? I like Unky Kata. She calls him Unky now instead of Grandpa because he wouldn't let her call her Unky Kata.
Can you call him Grunkle?
Grunkle. But
Please keep calling him that. I'm sure he'll be thrilled.
I do have a request. Can we have one of these wizard people go to Stonehaven, especially if you're going to be sending refugees there? I'd like to be able to make sure it's safe. The scanning checkpoint people.
Oh, the checkpoints, right. Yes, most certainly. We still have some spare equipment lying around. We can go ahead and send an individual. I can send a small detachment, get one set up outside Stonehaven. Yes, of course, that's fine.
That would be most appreciative. I have something that I don't want. So I'm going to give it to you. And she hands the queen the orb.
Oh, right. It's a physical something, not a metaphorical something. Got it. I was just worried you were sick of someone and
No, I would just take them out myself. This is bad magic, and I don't want it.
Takes a couple of looks at the orb and just all right. That can be disposed of, I suppose, unless you're asking me to store it, in which case that's a no.
No, you can do whatever you want with it. I've gotten rid of my fair bad magic. Yeah, I just don't need this more bad magic following me around.
Excellent.
Yeah, so things and stuff, and oh boy, things and stuff.
One moment. This creates a perfect and ample opportunity. And she takes the orb and clears away one of the targets and places a small pedestal there, places the orb on top of the pedestal, and steps backwards. I like to imagine, unless there's any other business you needed to do, Jacaranda, while with... I imagine this is where you step through one of the nearby trees. You see this scene kind of happen before you as she, Elwyn, turns to the two of you and just says, "You might want to take a few steps back," and places the iron sword down on the table and draws her blade from the sheath and gives it a couple of twirls in the hand before running a hand across the blade. The blade begins to hum with this green-white energy across the entire blade. She holds it aloft for just a moment, and even through the canopy here, there is a lightning bolt that crashes down, touches the tip of the blade before, with a flick of the wrist, she fires out this huge sonic boom that splits the orb directly in half and impacts the back wall, and it kind of like cracks a bunch of the wall as it hits in. You see her entire body tensed up as the slice goes through. You almost see like the veins across her head for a moment as she much better.
Oh, are we getting rid of that toy?
Oh, check right
Oh,
out.
not a toy. Not a toy.
Click.
It was bad, bad, bad magic.
It's a pleasure to see you again. I'm glad to see you're doing well.
You too. I'm glad that you're still alive because I know there's people that have been trying to kill you.
Yes. Well, no other attempts so far. Apparently, things have been progressing at an interesting rate. A lot of things have happened. A lot of details have been thrown around. And I assume you're here very much about that.
Oh, and because you requested us to come here, that's what this note says. It says, please come see me. That's what it says.
Oh, it's been a long week.
I love every NPC who has to see us is like, why are you here? You called me. Oh, I did call you. I'm sorry. There's a backup of ADHD medicine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I sent that a little bit ago and must have forgotten I sent it. In fact, I have another draft of the Yeah, well, never mind. Let's go ahead and speak somewhere a little bit more accommodating, especially since I'd like to get to know your friend here a little bit. I'm assuming Tawan and Nawi join us post haste.
I don't think so.
No,
They said they're going
they're-
on a date.
Yeah. They're,
I see.
I mean,
And they said T was going to be involved.
if you want them here, I can let them know, but
I don't think they'll be here quickly.
Very well. Well, we'll let the frolickers frolic for a little bit. They certainly deserve a little bit of a break. Very well then.
so has Logan been helpful?
Logan has been incredibly helpful. Their memory is certainly still a bit fractured, what with everything going on, but we've learned quite a bit of information. Some of it we're still corroborating, so I'm not at liberty to share it currently, but a bit more of it we've managed to confirm with the few individuals who are learned in these ways, but this is not really a conversation that I would like to have at the training range. Shall we?
Lunch? Tea? What?
That's
A
going
date.
to be
Let's
my
let
suggestion.
us have a date.
If that's the way you would like to refer it, certainly. Why not? Let me go ahead and get some of your. I remember your dietary information, or my chefs do, but I'll need to get a little bit more about you, Hiroki, being a new guest here. But first of all, let's go ahead and step inside. I have a small meeting room that's tucked away, ready to go.
Can you have someone show Iris to the library?
Yes,
Give
of
her a
course. I
library
can
pass.
certainly do that. But food
As I
as
imagine,
well.
Iris is standing there and kind of vibrating. Like-
Food first, and then I will go ahead and make sure that that's utterly sorted for you. All right, follow me. And she sheathes the blade and calmly steps inside, back to her kind of more serene, formal stance as she steps in. There's still kind of a little bit of smoke coming off of the huge gash that she left into the section of the wall behind. But yeah, you can go ahead and step inside as this is happening. Carter finishes up moving all of the animals and just, well, thank you very much for bringing them to me. It's been a little while, but I'm sure this kind of thing doesn't vanish. It's like riding a horse; you can't really forget it. I will update as much as I can with progress and see what I can do. Oh, and this is yours. Hands it to Nawi, the briefcase.
Okay, well, goodbye.
Wonderful. Thank you kindly. Got to go. And very hurriedly gives a small polite bow and rushes back through the door.
Okay, well,
At least
let's
his
see what this is.
business is doing well. Yeah, what is that? The scroll.
What is this?
What is it, Ray?
You open up the scroll. And Dewan, make me an Arcana check, but use your wisdom instead.
I'm gonna roll too.
Go for it.
I'm also
Yeah.
looking at it.
Same thing. Use your wisdom, not your intelligence.
It's the same thing for me.
All right, there you go. So if you're proficient in Arcana, add your proficiency. Otherwise, just a D20 plus your wisdom.
But I mean, I'm proficient in Arcana,
Okay,
so it's 20.
nice.
I got 14.
Okay.
I know some stuff.
No, wait. Yes. No. Yes.
Math's hard.
Yes. I mean, it's a +6, but it's an int, which is +2. Is it tripled? Why is it tripled?
If you're adding wisdom plus proficiency.
Yeah, I understand. No, I understand that, but
Okay.
I'm just it's just currently it's +6 with my intelligence, even though my intelligence is +2.
All right, our proficiency.
Yeah,
bonus
so
is
your
+4
proficiency
right
is
now.
+4.
+4.
That's why.
There we go.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's 21. Wow.
21. Nice. Cool. So, both of you looking at it, you recognize that this is a spell scroll. A little different to the spell scrolls that you have seen here on Vega. A little differently set up, a little bit prettier. It's a little more ornate. Some more a different ink type, more decorations. No, you've seen these plenty of times before. You've never used one, however. You've never really super studied these scrolls and how they work. Dewan, this scroll looks very similar to a communion spell. Similar, not the same. You recognize it from your own capacity to learn the spell. You recognize a lot of the sections of the engravings and the glyphs and the runes and the process and the and all of that setup. But there's little bits here and there which seem to have changed the spell somewhat. You're not 100% certain, but there's definitely a Verdant Veil influence. There's definitely something a little weirder going on here.
Yeah, it's got little pictures of dragons.
The
Little
scroll
dragon paw prints.
it's written in green ink. I'm going to relay that all to Nawi. Of course, if I pointed out the Verdant Veil flavor changes to Nawi, could that help me / her at all?
Nawi recognizes the kind of script. You would 100% recognize the kind of script. You've seen these scrolls written. You know it's of Verdant Veil origin. But
what it does
has exactly changed the spell, you're not entirely sure. But you would, Dewan, you would recognize it as some kind of communion spell.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we'll just use it one day and we'll see what happens, yeah?
I mean, I feel like we should save it your mom your mother wouldn't have sent this unless it was important. And she did
Mhm.
mention something about if anything tries to threaten your life,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you should hold on to this.
Well, yeah, but one day you'll use it and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I pity whoever we have to use it against. But I also won't, because they'll be hurting you. So they'll deserve everything.
You wanted to get some tea?
Some tea. It seems like a lot of serious things happen. And we might have some fun times in the sun. But we're in the city. Like, let's just enjoy being in the city.
Okay, they will let us know what the queen said.
I'm in no rush. They can do the talking. Mara's good at talking. We did our job of talking and animaling. I think we can deserve some sweets, some tea, something to eat while we walk around.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
and dates on me.
Oh, yes, good. Okay.
See,
Well,
as I proposed it, and I have the party gold.
and I have everybody's fucking money. No, that sounds fun.
Is there any place that catches your eye?
Probably the place we went. There's a place we all went to the first time we were in the city.
There's
The
that,
tea.
the tea shop.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only place that now I would think of. She doesn't know places or things.
We have a whole city to explore. Yeah, totally. How about that one place where we've all gone
There's
before?
a
Because I know
place
it.
that I've been to before, and they weren't weird about my wolf or that I didn't own shoes. So
I feel like no place here would be weird about your wolf or that you don't wear shoes.
she doesn't know that.
Let's go to the tea shop, and maybe if we see some place selling something else, we can stop by. It does seem like the city is much more hectic,
Loud,
busy, stifling,
scary. People.
stress.
Surprised now he didn't say, let's get tea and then go to the lake with all the birds that I had to pluck their feathers.
Let's go to the botanical garden. Let's have some tea and then go look at flowers.
More or less.
I mean, thankfully, with the uptick in foot traffic has also come an uptick in individuals looking to sell their wares outside of their stores. So as you're traveling through the city here, not only are you you're heading towards the tea store and you're seeing a whole bunch of different people being, as you said, hectic, but there's also a lot of a lot of recreational traffic as well. There's a local small theater that has a show going on, a matinee that is currently very, very popular. There's a lot of street food as you're coming around the corner. A lot of these sections of the streets of Scythia are covered in these stalls with various different savory and sweet and spicy meals, and you can certainly make a trip of it as you head to the shop here. The shop itself is busier than you had last visited it, but not massively so. And we can go ahead and pick up that date next time, I think, as we split over to the rest of the party here. And I want to give the date its own time in the sun, so to speak. So we can tackle that next time. And as we switch over to the other party here, you step into this small, more cozy meeting room than you had previous experienced. You'd been in kind of like one of the bigger rooms, and you'd been in like a pseudo war room of sorts. This one's a lot smaller, a lot more comfortable. It's more of a kind of a reading room, if anything. There's a few bookcases kind of scattered across the place. There's some very nice pieces of art spread across the wall. But in general, it's a much smaller room. There's a small kind of like round table in the center that's already been pre-prepared with some lunchtime foods and snacks and some teas and hot chocolates and things that have been spread across. Queen Elowyn will kind of gesture towards you and take a seat. Yes, go ahead and help yourselves. I'm aware that a lot had happened during your last escapade, and from what little you had told me, I certainly have some concerns. I shared the word around with a lot of the leaders around Vacre, and we've been in some long and difficult discussions about how best to tackle the issues that both yourselves have been brought up and the issues that have also been reported to us from elsewhere. It seems like there's a lot of smaller reports that seem to be amounting to something large, and we are worried. Worried to say the least. I know that you are of no official affiliation or official employ by myself or by anyone, for any matter. So I do not want to approach this as a work matter, but a favor that will be duly recompensed. We're spread a little thin at the moment. All of us are spread a little thin. With multiple threats possibly being on the horizon and not knowing which one to prepare for, we're kind of having to prepare for all of them. And that is leaving us spread thin. We also need to make sure that people are safe, secured, fed, housed, watered, all of that stuff. That's our number one priority. And so a lot of our infrastructure is going towards making sure that people are going to be safe for whatever may come. Call me paranoid, perhaps, but I like to make sure that we have ample preparation in case anything goes awry, and I know that we're still in very early stages of whatever is going on. But I want to make sure that we're ready. And that means that there's certain threads that I'm struggling to find capable people to explore. I'm trying to beat around the bush here. It's not really working. I need your help. We need your help. You are capable and powerful individuals who I have built a positive rapport with and that I would trust to do the right thing. There are 3 separate threads here, and I can only spare enough resources to explore 2 of them. So, whichever one of these threads you would like to follow, if any, 1, the help would be appreciated, and 2, well, you would obviously be paid your worth. In gold or in anything else that I can spare. Speaking not as a ruler, speaking as an adventurer who had dealt with some of the darkness of the past, I'm worried. Perhaps even scared is the correct word to say. I want to make sure that whatever is happening is nipped in the bud, so that a calamity does not befall anyone. Other kingdoms are also in agreement. They're taking their own steps. They're making their own plans and trying to figure out what best to do. But we're working together. We're communicating. We're doing all we can. But there's a lot of gears, a lot of wheels that turn in that. So if I may ask you and your group for your aid, it would be appreciated. And then we can decide what path you would want to explore.
Hard go. Oh, Queenie, you just had to ask.
Not a huge fan of that one, but all right.
She likes tweaking the queen. Of course we'll help. That's what it seems fate has in store for us. So what are the? Well, actually, hold on just a moment. And she's gonna interrupt the date and say, "Hey, I'm putting you guys on speakerphone." And so basically, what she hears, you guys are getting.
Before she continues, she turns to Hiroki. You must be of a good sort, because you've ended up with a good sort, but I would be lying if I didn't say that you stepped into a hell of a situation with a lot of leans in and kind of loses the regal posture for a moment and leans in towards you, Hiroki. There's a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit. There's old cults, there's evil powers, there's situations that people shouldn't have meddled with. There are interplanar relationships that are quickly crumbling. There are magics beyond even my comprehension going on, and a very, very twisted individual who seems to be behind pretty much everything bad that has happened for the past few thousand years. And you've stepped right into the middle of it, and I'm very sorry about that.
Happens.
I wasn't expecting quite so relaxed of a response, but I appreciate your confidence, candor, whatever works. Regardless, we've only just met, but I have spoken and worked with your allies here a good many times, and they're good people. And I'm hoping that we get a chance
I would tend to agree.
Good. I'm hoping that we get a chance to sit down and talk like people rather than a leader and an adventurer. Soon, hopefully. Perhaps over a dinner sometime. Who knows? Right.
Am I getting a vibe between the Queenie and Hiroki? It's like, is there a vibe there?
That is up for you to translate, but no.
Am I completely missing a vibe?
No, the Queen is just very friendly.
I mean,
You are
Hiroki is
not.
also equally very friendly.
If there is a vibe, everyone else is picking up on it, except for the two, other than the two people
Yes.
having the vibe.
Exactly. It's that situation where everyone's like, no.
Did she just ask you out?
As
In group chat, I don't
Did
know.
you agree?
Alwyn,
You mean did she just ask me out in group chat? Like, what do you mean? This is just me being me. What do you?
just while Elowen's like slinking back into the chair and ready to chat with you more, this conversation in the background of just, wait, was that a date? I have no idea. Wait, would I? No, but it was just fine. Amazing. Yeah, Elowen slinks back and breathes a small sigh of relief before. Okay, so with all of the preparations, all of the discussions, and all of the research that we're currently doing, here's the situation. She pulls out of a small pocket. She pulls 3 separate small little pieces of paper out and puts them both on the table. Here it is. And that is where we'll pick up next time.
Okay.
Cliffhanger.
And it is late, and I want to make sure that people have a good evening and sleep and stuff. Specifically, that second part. I realize that's hypocritical coming from me, but
Well timed, John.
So, gonna do a quick round of folks here and just give folks a chance to plug what they want to plug and hype themselves up and see what's going on. Jesse, gonna start with you this time.
Hello, I'm Jahoos the Moose. On the internet, Jesse, I do art things. I'm tired. Go to my Twitter for some art things. I'm gonna be working. I'm building my actual resume right now, and I'm just so fucking over it. That's it. That's my news. That's my weekly update.
Rochelle.
I am Rochelle, Dragon Gem here on Twitch, the Dragon Gem on Twitter. I stream on my own channel on Sundays at 3 Mountain Time. I play lots of puzzle games, but because it's October, I've been playing spooky games. So yeah, you should come by and hang out. We can chat about D&D if you'd like. That's it.
Akemi.
Hi, I'm Akemi. I play Hiroki, your hot boy magical girl warlock, who has no idea if he's getting asked out or not this time around. You can find me on the internet's where I exist at Ninja Penguin I am. I make games, play games, and do stuff occasionally. Off to whoever's next.
Alice.
Hello, I'm Alice, also known as So Much Geek, playing Jacaranda, the tree person. I just uploaded some designs to Threadless and Redbubble again, so check those out. I think there might still be a sale going on. Go take a look and find out. Good job.
Did it. Austin.
Hey, what's up? My name is Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. I play now. Whose pronouns are she, they. You can find me over on Twitter at SailorScottAustin, at Sailor SCT Austin. I'm a game designer, performer, writer, and friend. I always forget what the third one is. The best way to know what I'm up to on any given day, month, week, hour, or minute is follow me over on Twitter at SailorScottAustin. It's at Sailor SCT Austin.
As always, follow all these wonderful people, support them in all that they do. They're bloody fantastic. Hi, I'm Ray. I am your GM for The Mind of the Martyr. I'm a professional TTRPG GM and content creator. You'll usually find me on the screen or behind the scenes at Friends Who Roll Dice, or somewhere else, which is going to be announced soon, I think. We'll see what happens there. Usually doing a whole bunch of TTRPG things. I've got my fingers in many pies at the moment. I'm trying to get my start playing sorted. So you can go ahead and hire me for GMing. It's on there, which will be cool. That'll be super neat. I play on I'm trying to remember everything I'm doing. Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign over on A Minstrel's Tale, where I play Kyra, my clockwork sorcerer Fairy, which has been super fun. And that's every week on Saturdays, which is pretty neat. I am guesting later today, oh my god, on Polished Cryptid's channel, where I'm playing where I am playing a mystery character, and that'll be for a few sessions, and that's pretty cool. In their homebrew game, The Wandering Menagerie. And I have a few writing-y things that are still kind of in limbo at the moment. So that's me. I think that's all I can announce. Yeah, the only thing to kind of announce for Friends for Roll Dice is our Extra Life game, which we're still in the middle of getting set up for. That's going to be cool. We're doing a big old charity stream with a whole bunch of awesome faces in the community. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm super looking forward to it. Keep an eye on our Twitter at Friends Roll Dice for that. And that is everything, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and spread the love that you've given us, send it elsewhere. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the Raiders for dropping in as well. It was fantastic to see you. Stay hydrated, stay medicated, look after yourselves, for goodness sake. Keep moving forward, and we will see you next week. Bye.